everyone, it's Kim from the Nerd Element, and I just got back from seeing X-Men Days of Futures Past. Okay guys, so normally I like to take movies that, let's say, are based on a book I read, or something that I have knowledge of from past experience, like Avengers or Captain America, and I try to remove myself from that, right? And look at the movie as a whole to see if it can stand up on its own. I'm sorry guys, I cannot do that with this movie. I am so attached to X-Men and ingrained. It's like my childhood. I mean, I loved the cartoon. I loved watching it when I was a kid. I looked forward to every single week. The comics, I read the comics when I was like 12 and 13. My goodness, I loved these things. You know, into high school, it was just, I can't separate it. But I still think you should stick around, watch this review. It's going to be non-spoiler review. And I hope I make some good points, so let's get into it. This movie was really, really, really good, and I was scared. I will admit that. I was scared to go in there with very high expectations because, well, let's just face it, X3 completely destroyed me. The Last Stand, it took my love for X-Men and just stomped on it repeatedly. I remember leaving the theater and having a tantrum like a 5-year-old child who had their lollipop taken away from them. I was just livid. I took those movies and I put them into my closet and locked them away, the first two, because I didn't own the third one, ew, and I just sat in the corner and rocked myself. Like seriously, I went through the first two stages of grief, you know, denial and anger, and I was still sitting in anger until, I don't know, 3 hours ago. It was that good a movie to bring me back. And don't get me wrong, X-Men First Class, good movie, was a good movie. But this one, I think, blows them all away. I mean, I had the same feeling when I saw the original X-Men movie, the very first one, because I was so excited then that there was an X-Men movie coming out, that I loved it, and I felt like that again with this movie. So there's that. Let's talk about the movie. The movie itself, I don't want to give too much of the plot away, but you've basically got the future. The future is destroyed, and there's a war between, you know, Sentinels and everybody, so mutants and humans helping mutants and whatnot, and it's pretty devastated. And so they basically, you know, send Wolverine back in time, his conscious back into his body in the past to kind of help fix that. And I don't want to say how he helps fix that, but that's basically the plot of the movie. And now let's talk about the cast real quick. So there's this guy, and this guy, and this guy. My gosh. And well, there's her, if you like that type of thing. Oh, and her, Jessie Lynn. And you've got like the original cast, so Halle Berry, Shawn Ashmore. You've got Sir Ian McKellen, Patrick Stewart. You have new faces, Evan Peters, and yeah, Peter Dinklage, which I like in anything basically. Nicholas Hoult is back too. So you've got that, and I think that this movie is a lot more emotional. And I'm not just saying that because I was an emotional wreck watching it. No, it was more emotional because they didn't just let what happened in the first X-Men, or the X-Men First Class, lie. There was a lot of heavy stuff that happened in that movie, and you see the repercussions of that in this movie. I like that. So there's a lot of emotional, I want to say, like, anger on both parts between Charles Xavier and Eric, or Magneto. And you see that. You see their kind of battle with the anger that they have with each other, but also their friendship. And I really, really like that. It makes you really feel attachment to the characters. Raven too, Mystique, you see that as well. They do manage to throw in there, if you're listening, what's happened to some of the mutants that you saw in First Class. And you do see some of them in this movie if you're paying attention. So That I really, really liked. I think the story was strong, guys. I think the story was strong. I think the graphics were strong. I saw it in 3D. It was real 3D, so it was really good to watch it in that. I don't think that you have to, but I enjoyed it. I liked what they did with the Sentinels. You see two versions of them, the future version and the version from the past. So I really, really like that. You might be like, wow, it is 1970 something and they've got really, really advanced technology. Yeah, I know. That's kind of weird. All the actors did a really good job acting. I honestly didn't have one issue with this movie. They addressed X-Men Last Stand. You know, there's a lot of stuff that happened in that movie. Like I said previously, that you would think that the movie was ending. Like, this is it. This is the end of this version of X-Men because of how that movie ended. Although they did give you a little bit of hint that something might happen, but there's a lot of stuff that happened that just killed it. And they took this movie and they went in and they said, we're going to address that. We know we messed up, and we're going to address that. So kudos to Fox for doing that. I don't want to tell you how they addressed it, but they did address it, and I think we've learned here. Bryan Singer, right? Okay, so he wrote the first one, or he's part of the writing team for the first one. Same thing for the second. Had nothing to do with the third. I was part of the writing team for X-Men First Class and directed this movie. So obviously the man knows what he's doing in that aspect. Now he got himself into a little bit of trouble, and I have no idea what's going to happen in the future. If he's not going to be able to be involved in these movies, which is going to be a shame because obviously he knows what he's doing. But I'm hoping that 20th Century Fox have learned their lesson and they won't do this again. They won't revert back. They will make sure maybe to put some of the same writing teams together and produce a good product, because the end credit scene for this movie, outstanding. So you can tell that they're building up to something really, really great, which is another storyline that I love. So I am here is hoping that they get it right. So you guys stay to the end of the credits, okay? Because you don't want to miss that. Alright guys, like I said, really enjoyable movie. I will probably see it again because I am going to see it again. It was that good of a movie. I give it 9 out of 10. Really, 9 out of 10. You know what, probably 10 out of 10. It was that good. So I think you should go see it. If you don't know anything about X-Men, it's fine. You can still follow along. You're going to get the gist of it. You might miss little Easter eggs here and there, but you'll understand what's going on. I think it's enjoyable for you. Now, and if you know a lot about X-Men, or you're like me and you grew up loving the cartoon and loving the comics, and you were going to geek out at this movie, you're going to really, really enjoy it, probably as much as I did. So I would definitely go out and see it. Alright guys, I'm going to try to do a more spoiler in-depth review in the next couple of days. Get that up for you. If I can put that together, and if not, I will definitely see you next week for Maleficent. I'm looking forward to that. Alright guys, bye.